Good evening, everybody. My name's Andy Guyton from Guyton Guitars. I just want to thank you all for taking an interest in what I do, and to Barbara for sending me these questions. So, okay, question one. Why are your guitars so special and unique, more than any other replica? I'm not so sure they're more special than any other replicas, but when I started these in say 2002, 2003, that they were officially endorsed by Brian. They'd actually asked me to investigate doing this limited edition, and consequently I had access to the original guitar, so I could draw around it, measure it. It wasn't virtually unhindered access, because I couldn't take the tremolo out, couldn't take the neck out at the time. So I had all that plus the X-rays, which was a major help. It really was. So together with those, and because it's a limited quantity, it's fairly easy. I mean, 50 is still quite a lot of guitars for someone who sort of works alone a majority of the time. So, but it's still a limited quantity, so it's fairly easy to keep the quality up and the attention to detail. So yeah, I think that basically rounds that up. But I do enjoy what I do, so I hopefully that comes out in the actual sort of playing process. Okay, number two. Why is the sound so faithful to the original? And this goes back to that question, because you're measuring the words, you're measuring every aspect of the guitar. But everything about that guitar is very sensitive to change, like pickup heights, and for example, whether many of you know or not, but I built Brian a red special with a scalloped neck, and it was exactly the same as the others, but there's obviously wood removed between each fret, and it had larger fret wire. And I took it to Brian. He said, "Oh, these pickups sound great." They were identical pickups, absolutely identical. But he sort of likened it to a bit of like a Gibson SG. It had a bit more bark to it. So yeah, it was just that these small changes can make a lot of difference with a guitar like the RS. So yeah, if you're faithful to it, the construction, then it will end up sounding fairly close. But having said that, when I built the two prototypes, the red and the green guitars, bearing in mind I built both guitars, they were out of the same piece of wood. It was literally cut down the middle. One was for one was for the other. And everything was the same, identical, but Brian could tell a difference. He got amazing hearing, so he could tell that green guitar was slightly warmer than the red guitar. I couldn't tell any difference at all, but Brian heard it. Number three. What is the problem with with Stefano's guitar, and can I talk about it? Of course. I mean, it's guitars over use, they do sometimes develop small problems. And I mean, this is Stefano's guitar here, and what's actually happened over the time, we developed a small amount of play in the tremolo bolts. So when you use the tremolo, it didn't seem to be zeroing. And especially on the sensitive strings like the G or the E, they wouldn't return to pitch. So, but we've attended that now, and thankfully it's a lot more stable now. So this guitar should be there tonight. Touch wood. Right, can you talk about the guitars for the Bohemian Rhapsody movie? Of course. I mean, it's when I got the call about these guitars, that they were basically asking me to start with what the best way to do this was, whether to use some of the BMG guitars, but I thought they're not really, you know, a film like this, it needs to be right, it needs to be perfect. So they asked me whether I could build, I mean it was a few years ago now, but I think it was 3 guitars in 2 weeks. And I said, it's absolutely impossible, it just can't be done. So then they said, just 1 guitar in 2 weeks and another guitar 2 weeks after. So I said, yeah, fine. I mean, it's still tough, but and I spent probably 1-2 days solidly sort of thinking about how I could, you know, planning the build of the guitar, just searching cupboards to see what I had, you know, how I could get away with various bits but still keep the guitar looking faithful to the original. But anyway, we did it, and I loved building them. I absolutely loved it. And the first one was the Live Aid guitar, and that was picked up I think 2 days before that scene was filmed. I finished that the day my first grandson was born, which made it doubly, you know, doubly special. So and then the next one, the 70s one, sort of the bow wrap era of the 70s, that was finished 2 weeks later. But yeah, so much fun building those, and to see them up on the screen was just yeah, really good. Okay, last question. This is about the can I discuss the new Time Warp, the Guyton Time Warp guitars? These guitars come back from the Bow Wrap movie, because I'd never liked the idea of relic guitars. I just didn't see the point. I had no interest in making them. Playing them's not so bad because they feel worn, and it doesn't matter, you know, if you put them down they get chipped. It's not the end of the world, you know. But with something that's pristine, then it's I don't know, it's just slightly different. But once I started doing these, you start chasing details that you weren't aware of, and that was good fun as well. That was great. I really did enjoy that, and Brian was really helpful as well. Brian's team would send me all these pictures that have never been released before of the 70s, you know, so I could get knob indicator detail, and they look great. I was so pleased with them. But anyway, I'm sort of digressing. But but that got me into the you know, making a relic guitar. And once the film came out, I had several inquiries about doing a relic red special. So I put it to Pete and Brian, and initially they said, no, I said 10 guitars. They said, well, let's do 20, which is fine, but I wanted one for myself as well, so we decided on 21 guitars. But we've really gone to the nth degree with these to get them perfect, and period correct as well, you know, good or bad. And I've had several discussions with Brian about the finishing process and how the dots were set and how the finishing was done around the dots. Small things like that, the staining, you know, this is, and you know, between the original work I did on the Red Special and, you know, the last couple of years, I've taken the guitar apart completely twice, so I have had, you know, real unrivaled access, which has all gone into these guitars, and very pleased to say that they're selling well, and it's going to be a really nice package with the guitar. So yeah, very pleased with those. None are actually finished yet, but they should be they're almost ready for the lacquer, and then the assembly. But yeah, there's a great team of people and suppliers. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. But it's been about 18 months, 2 years worth of research, redoing everything for these guitars, and I just want them to be the most accurate and period correct ever made. So and hopefully the customers will think the same. So I think that's it. Thank you all again. It would be nice to have been there in person, and either next year or the year after, then I hope to be there with you all. Right, cheers, thank you, bye.